Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick, and today we're checking out Voxatron by developer Lexalawful. This is the alpha version. This is 0.2.5. This has been in development for a long time as far as I know. This is an action, maybe twin-stick shooter depending on how you customize the controls, slash adventure, slash maybe RPG depending on where the direction of development goes. I know this is probably one of the weirdest, most qualified introductions as far as what is this game about that you've ever heard. But it bears mention that this game is it goes in a lot of different directions, most of which are good. And it's a game that I've been really excited about for a long time. And the thing is, this game has been around since, I think it was 2010, I started hearing whispers about it, and then videos started showing up a little bit later, and it's a really cool concept, but it's just been very slow in development, unfortunately, and the developer's charging $15 right now to grab the alpha version, which is the version that I'm playing again right now, and it seems like there's still a lot not quite done yet. In fact, to update the thing, you actually can't even just do it through the client. You actually have to go download the actual game again from the source. So if you get it from the developer, at least you can get it from the website, but if you get it from like a Humble Indie bundle or something, you gotta actually go back through them and hope that all of that stuff syncs up and that he sent it to them and that they posted it. And I don't know, it seems like kind of like a lot of work to go through to update your game. So hopefully that feature will make it in as soon as possible to be able to actively update the game that you bought that is not finished. I say that like I'm being derogatory. I'm not. I mean, honestly, I understand things come up, lives get complicated. It happens. There's no expectation that the game necessarily has to be done in X amount of time. It's just I saw that in the first developer log for this thing, it was entering full-time development, and there's all kinds of plans, and it just seems like it's been very slow. Anyway, I'm sure you're done hearing me chat about the developer and his plans to support this game in the future. Let's actually show it off a little bit. How about that? So I want to show you very briefly the menus, video options. One option I really like about this, we've got soft or hard shadows. As you can look under that rotating, like malleable series of orbs there, you'll notice they keep changing between a very hard edge, I mean as it describes, and a soft sort of feathered edge, which I think is kind of nice, depending on what mood you're in. It actually is a shallower shadow, like a less dark shadow on hard, but it doesn't have the nuance or the soft edges as it does on soft. Anyway, that's a matter of preference. I kind of like both in various ways, but I'm gonna stick with soft for now. Sound volume, music volume. Unfortunately, these are not particularly granular. They only seem to go in large chunks like that. Whatever. And the video options, there's not a ton of video options at this point either, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of adaptation for the actual video recording. Not an issue for you guys, most likely, and if you're playing it full screen, everything's going to be probably just fine. But it's definitely not been the easiest game to get a recording setup done for, and it's an issue I go through with every single game I play. It always starts out a little bit different. How you actually set it. I'm going to launch into arcade mode so you can get a feel for what this game's about, and I'm going to keep babbling about whatever it is that I was babbling about a moment ago. And in fact, that would be the recording setup and the fact that every single game has a different arrangement that you have to come to terms with. Oh man, see, I'm missing great opportunities here to describe what's going on. Alright, maybe I will just abandon that idea. So, I actually customized the controls in this to play just like a twin-stick shooter. That is not the default intended control scheme, but I think it works so much better this way that it seems like it probably should be to me anyway. The default control scheme actually had you basically using, was it A to jump and X to shoot, and you'd have to hold down X, and then you'd lock on in different directions based on when you started holding X, which would sort of allow you to moonwalk. Like in Super Metroid terms. It's, I guess it works, and the developer said that's the way that he felt most comfortable playing the game, and that's fine. Thankfully, there was that update that allowed, things to change around a little bit. I'm very glad for that. I think this is actually much, much more engaging to play with the control scheme that I feel comfortable with personally. I mean, kind of, granted, that is usually the way things go, isn't it? Oh, whoa, kind of wandered right into this guy. So, this is not the entirety of the game, as you might expect. This is just arcade mode. This is sort of like an arena to see how long you can last. Keeps throwing new kinds of enemies at you, so I figured this would be a good place to start so you can see some of the diversity in enemies and weapon modes and all that. And then after that, there is an adventure mode, which is going to take you through a series of, like, completely deformable dungeons, which will unlock different things as we progress. But anyway, I think the real charm and the appeal of this game comes from a lot to do with the visual aesthetic. The fact that this game is entirely created out of voxels, which I know has gotten maybe a little played out over time to some degree, but I still think this is quite a Whoa, okay, well, let's explode all of them. I think it's quite a charming look. The fact that all of the floors and walls and everything can just be shattered apart is just a really cool thing to me, and I never really get bored of that. And if there's one thing I hope changes over time, it's that more games can have more, like, physics-based deformation of the environments. I think that's... Whoa, what did I get? Sword of Fortune. I never had this yet. But it adds to the environments, it adds to the gameplay in general, just to be able to really, you know, mess with everything. It feels very personal when you can just tear apart an environment so there's absolutely nothing left like that. Whoa, okay, knocked my armor off. And I guess that's game. So, that's probably a very brief, quick introduction. Let's go back out to the main menu. You can actually also play back your last gameplay session, which is kind of cool if you wanted to capture something that was particularly interesting for whatever reason. Anyway, we're not going to do that right now. Let's go back to the title, and let's jump into adventure mode, start a new game. The adventure mode is pretty bare bones. It doesn't seem to be a ton to it yet, but I'm pretty sure that's one of the big plans as far as future development goes. There's going to be a story about a girl who crash lands on the planet holding an egg, I believe it said. So, welcome to Voxatron, Z or C to jump, X or V to shoot, hold shoot, yeah, well, I actually changed the controls on that, so it doesn't really apply to me anymore. But see, the cool thing about this game, and I don't know if this is going to actually work in this case, but, oh yeah, it does. So everything has some, like, gravity to it, some slight physics to it, so as we cut through this tree, you'll see it actually just tears down. And every single surface and object that you can interact with, or that you can see, essentially, is interactable. And the fact that you can jump means that I shouldn't have too much worry about destroying these stairs, because thankfully I can just hop over the missing gap there that I've just created. Plus, he's pretty malleable as far as being able to climb up taller surfaces, at least most of the time. And it's cool to see all the little bits and pieces of the level just scattered around. I know one of the future plans the developer has is to have greater, like, persistence. So when you really do a lot of damage to a room and you come back to it, it doesn't just all reset, because right now, none of that information's stored. So, I mean, I kind of understand why that would be. It's kind of complicated, I imagine anyway. So let's jump in. This is the arena we were just in arcade mode a moment ago. That's okay, though, because this is only brief. So you can probably guess there's a lot of pretty huge promise to this type of a game, especially the fact that it has support for an editor, which is apparently very, very robust. The FAQ on the developer's website actually talked about that you'd be able to create entire, you know, original games and RPGs and such in this. So it may end up being more of an engine or a platform even than just an individual game itself, which if that's the case, then it's entirely understandable why development ended up taking so long. And granted, it's entirely understandable why it did for a variety of reasons. I'm not really trying to hold them to task for, like, what's going on in the developer's personal life. It's not really my business, I'm just saying. I think it's just frustrating sometimes because people see so much promise in a game and they just want to sort of get into it, and things just feel like they're dragging on forever at times, and, you know, there's a lot of reasons for that, like I said a couple of times now. But I think a lot of the criticism for that type of thing comes out of love. It's just, you know, we're all excited. We want to play it. We want it to be done. We want to, you know, see what you have to offer. And we want to celebrate, you know, this exciting thing with you. But, you know, it's always complicated. So let's grab this glowing rainbow rupee here, and that should teleport us back outside where there is now a key, and we can move around the game environment, which is great. It is kind of a cool thing to see that the map is essentially all laid out ahead of time, but it only shows you whatever portion you're walking through. I like that aesthetic. It's pretty cool, actually. So let's jump in here. Okay, we've got some kind of present. We've got triple shot. That should definitely help us with these little super crate box guys. That's just what they make me think of. They're not actually super crate box guys. That's not exactly fair. They spawned all around me. Can I get that chocolate, please? Thank you. Oh, I thought it was going to give me health. It didn't. So once you end up putting this in twin stick mode, which, like I said, is what I did pretty quickly, I find the controls actually are really good. But when I was dealing with the, shooting with the X button and trying to moonwalk around, I felt like it didn't do it justice properly. So I was really glad to see that that option was there. And I think the goal here is to try to get this Minotaur to punch this tower down so I can grab the bonuses at the top. That's actually a pretty cool effect. I like seeing how he tears through the interior of that thing. Oh, look, he's got the power up on his head. Isn't that silly? Let's see if we can get him over here so we can get some health as well. Oh no! I'm gonna spawn in more stuff. I probably didn't do this fast enough. Alright, punch this tower, please. Oh no! Alright, he dropped the explosion power up. There we go. Now all... Oh, man. Alright, that's good. Let's detonate. There we go. Boom. Goes the dynamite. Let's grab some health. Apparently, that was only 1 health, even though it looked like 2. I'm not sure what's up with that. If I was being really persistent, I could probably just mow through this pillar eventually, but it's probably going to take a while. I'm guessing once I've cut through the whole thing, like in a horizontal fashion, yeah, the whole thing will just crumble. Oh, and I can actually use this sort of like a tower. I don't think they can really get to me up here until they tear it down, which is kind of nice. Alright, these guys are starting to come in quite a bit more frequently here. There's certainly a nice derivation to something like Geometry Wars. Oh, I got a build gun, which is super cool because it actually allows me to, like, box these guys in if I want to. It doesn't give you a ton of shots, unfortunately, but it's a great idea regardless. You can sort of create paths or lanes for the enemies to go through, and then they have to cut through your stuff to get to you, so you're sort of using your environment to your advantage again. Look at all the destruction we've done to this crazy environment. This is great. I just never stop getting into, like, seeing just how crazy, like, how destroyed we can make something look. Even better that it, like, wrecks the floor and stuff, too. Oh, man, these guys are trying to tear down my little ottoman that I'm standing on here. Trying to knock the chocolate everywhere. Don't do that. I'm not getting any of these power-ups. Ah, they're all gone. There is a health pack up there. I'm probably going to grab that. Very cool that it keeps, like, dynamically expanding parts of the environment. I really like that as well. It's sort of deforming in its own way, like, to your advantage to progress you forward. And I have to mention, of course, this is reminding me a little bit of 3D Dot Game Heroes. Similar premise, only just, like, directly recreated Legend of Zelda. So if you're not familiar with that one, it is PlayStation 3 exclusive. I always kind of wondered why that game never came out on more platforms. It must have worked out something good. Because I kind of think that game was pretty well suited to being released on Steam, since it was already, like, basically just aping a Nintendo property, but released on a PlayStation on a Sony console. So why not go a step further and just put it on PC where everybody can grab it? What is this? I got duplicate? I don't know what I just picked up there. Oh man, so all of these walls have holes cut through them, which means that they're not going to do me a lot of good for protection at this point. What does this actually do? Is it giving me, like, double fire or something? I don't know. Yeah, let's keep moving on. I'm thinking the alpha's probably relatively short. Oh, I probably shouldn't have grabbed that health pack because I already had full health. But I did get a bonus at least, and get some sushi. This does largely feel like the same thing I've seen in videos now for quite a while, but still, I wanted to get my hands on it, play it for myself. Probably mess around with the editor at some point, not in this video, though. It looked like it required a little bit of learning. Alright, things are getting a little crazy in here now. Let's see if we can get to this explosive here. There we go. Oh yeah, that tore everything up. Another Minotaur. These guys are coming in pretty frequently now. Great. Let's grab that health pack. Actually, I have to do a bit of concentrating. I figured this game was going to be a bit on the easy side for whatever reason, because I'm generally pretty good at twin-stick shooters. But that's not exactly what I would call this for the most part, although right now it's coming across like that. It's kind of cool, though, to see that concept extended out to something bigger than just, like, a Geometry Wars style game where you're just standing literally in an arena. I mean, granted, we are kind of doing that in a way, But the arena is expansive and expanding, and destructible, which is not something I'm used to seeing. Oh, and you can actually sort of use the cutaway of the environment to your advantage, so you can see that there's actually that explosive up there, which if your jumping is up to snuff and you can figure out a way to that railing, actually I might have to do it from the other side because it's a freaking obvious step right there, then we can demolish a little bit more. I just really enjoy tearing everything apart. Let's grab this. Oh, there's another one too. I might as well. I don't think I can probably come back. And out we go. Grab another key. I like how that opens that little door over there. And I gotta, of course, destroy that tree. What is this? Mysterious music playing. Let's see if we can cut this down and see what's... Oh my god, it's full of stuff! That's a ridiculous surprise. I was supposed to hit the explosive, and I didn't exactly pull that off. Okay, well, thankfully we can restart right here. Now, should I just... Let's just tag the explosive. Oh no, it still didn't work. I needed to shoot it down, and then, at that point, detonate that thing. Triple shot can't save me now. Alright, let's try this one more time. Now that I know what to expect. I gotta be standing in the right spot. Let's shoot the explosive away. Oh, no, I didn't mean to grab triple shot there, but that's okay. Shoot the explosive away, and that's cut through, and then cut through this. There we go. Oh no, it still didn't work. It mostly worked. Alright, that's okay. Let's use the outer edges of this to our advantage. Do some circles. Oh no, my triple shot's gone. I have very crappy fire rate when it's just the standard gun. Alright, so this is pretty standard, like, swarm behavior when we're dealing with, like, the little pinwheel confetti guys in Geometry, where it's kind of a similar approach there. Oh. Oh no! I didn't realize I was going to fall off of a thing. Well, not much I could do about that. I was holding forward a little too long. Well, that jump is not exactly possible. Are you kidding me? So I guess we've got to come up with ways to manipulate the environment here, unless the jump is possible and I'm just kind of dumb. Let's see if we can try this one more time. Oh yeah, I did make it. This jump is certainly not possible, though, but I can make it to the key. And now the floor is lava, so I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do about that. I guess I could try and cut this down. Oh no, I fell off. I didn't realize where I was going. Oh geez, this is crazy town. How am I supposed to cope with that? There's not even like a secret explosion somewhere that I know of. What's this thing do? Maybe this... Oh, I can use the... Oh, I can use the build gun. That's how I'm supposed to do this. See, this is pretty creative. There's actually a lot of, like, different thought as to how to approach each situation, which is not what I was expecting at all. I kind of... I don't know, I expected it to be pretty straightforward, just a lot of just shooting, occasional, you know, wandering. But this is pretty cool. So I also still have to get to that key. The perspective here is a little bit throwing me off, but you can actually move the camera up, which I just don't think I set a button for. Alright, there we go. I didn't even have to fight anything in that room. This is more like a puzzle. So what are these things? It looks like a crown. Freeze! Okay, this is the first time I've picked this up. Let's try freezing some suckers. Okay, no, that's still the build gun, apparently. That seems to take precedence. Let's grab this again. Oh, it freezes them in place. I get it. Triple shot? No, that's blaster. Oh, it freezes them in place for quite a while, too. That's good. That should be long enough to take care of the problem. Oh, I missed that. The perspective can throw me off. There we go. The game is also very smooth, I have to say, which is great. And so far it's been totally stable, which is not always the case with alpha games. Haven't had any crashes, just a lot of, you know, setup time. In essence, it wasn't allowing me to record the game directly. I had to record the Windows desktop and all of that. Not that it really matters, but, like, it wasn't a straightforward deal. So for those of you out there who might be having trouble trying to record Voxatron, I hear ya. I've been there. Alright, so let's get through this last wave here. I'm pretty sure... Well, I'm not pretty sure, but I'm thinking we're probably not terribly far away from the end of the thing already. Unless I am mistaken, and I'd be happy to be mistaken. Chocolate, a couple more of these guys, grab an apple. Quite liking the diversity in environments, too. I mean, we've got those, like, castle structures, and we were outside for a minute. Like a dojo before is pretty cool. And the fact that so much of it is deformable, like, well, all of it is deformable, like, I can get to the sushi if I just feel like cutting down this pillar. Which is probably an easier thing to do when I have triple shot or some sort of a better blaster. There we go. I love the way it all breaks apart. I know I've said that like a dozen times now. Alright, so that's another dungeon. I'm not sure, is there another dungeon after this? It's raining now, which is pretty cool, and the flowers are leading me to the left, to Nature Town. This is sort of reminding me a little bit of Seedling. A very cool adventure game. Whoa, we've got a new type of enemy here. We've got a snail, which seems to leave some kind of nasty slug, fungus, junk, glue, whatever you want to call it, slime. Probably slime. And it seems to be kind of hard to cut through. Oh, it doesn't actually hurt you, though. I just wanted to test that out. So how would I proceed upward? Was I supposed to use the snail to climb? Or do I just need to, like, cut my way through this wall? I don't know, I might have messed it up there. Got this little fern here. Can I break this apart? Oh, yeah, I can. If the only way forward is that I have to cut through this wall, that'd be a little silly. I probably have to do... Can I push this? That'd be crazy if you could push stuff. I don't think that's the case, though. Maybe you could cut through it and see what's inside of it, if there's anything. Let's try that. Can't always tell where the final pixel is or voxel that you need to cut through. Figure shoot in a circle eventually, it'll go down. Alright, it did. Unfortunately, that did not really yield anything helpful. Can I get on top of this tree, maybe? I still don't think I'd be able to reach it from there, even if I was on the tree. Can I go back out? Nope. Alright, so once I'm in here, I'm stuck. I think I can reset the room, though, if I wanted. Maybe that's a challenge or something. Maybe I'm supposed to lead the snail over to this wall. Oh, there he is. Yeah, follow me. And then I'm going to use your snail trail to get out of jail. There we go. Pretty sure that'll work. Whoa, got stuck in the wall there for a second. Okay, well that's a creative way to get through a level. Certainly wasn't expecting that at all. Oh, look at this. They break through the wall when they smack into everything. I like that a lot. Yeah, you think you're so tough. Watch the game, we'll throw like 20 of them at me now. I don't even know. Oh, that's the sword, isn't it? I think probably my favorite thing about this, aside from the deformation and the aesthetic, is the all the crazy weapons and stuff that you can find. I'm really hoping that the developer takes that even further. I want to see one like an explosion-based attack, like a grenade launcher or something. Maybe like a laser sword you can use to cut through stuff. Could make it a lot more satisfying to cut through the base of these tree areas or whatnot. Anything else? There's some life here. I just really like the presentation of this game in general. I think it's got so much potential, and I totally would be into playing tons of like community content, fan-based, you know, edited mod levels or campaigns or whatever you want to call it. Once that does start to become more of a thing, there might already be a community around it. I just haven't even investigated it yet. This is my very first foray into playing this myself, and largely I'm pretty impressed. I think this is a very fun game. Oh, and I have detonated. But like I've expressed already, you know, it's not perfect. It still needs a bunch more work. And I do look forward to seeing where the game goes as development gets, you know, closer to a full release. Still don't know about charging $15 for it at this point. It seems a little early for that price. But that's just my own personal take on it. I think probably something more like $7 or $8 or $10, something like that would be a little bit more fair. And then bump the price up once you're into beta. Then if you do, you know, go the Minecraft route and bump it up one more time once the game's in full release. maybe start at 5, go up to 10 for beta, and then 15 for final release, or, 1.0. That's just me. I know that we all have different metrics about how to gauge value propositions versus games. I mean, especially when you're talking about a game that potentially has, like, infinite replayability or a huge modding community. I know that definitely helps establish value, in many different ways, and can result in a higher purchase point price. And you shouldn't feel too guilty or bad about that or anything. You shouldn't feel guilty about it however you go, as long as you're not creating something like Orion Dino Beatdown ever. Don't do that ever, that's all I'm saying. So that's going to pretty much do it for Voxatron. I do recommend it. Just like I said, it's all about value proposition for you. I don't know if I would personally want to pay $15 for it. I managed to grab it for $1 in a pay anything, or pay what you want bundle. That was on, I think it was on Indie Game Stand. I'm not sure how long that'll be lasting, though, and by the time this video goes up, it might even not be a thing anymore. But if it does exist, I will post the link for that in the description, as well as the traditional purchase links for the game for you to find. I don't know what these guys are supposed to be, sort of goatmen or pigmen or something. They're shooting crazy projectiles at me. Whoa, what's going on? Things have gotten a little crazy. I feel like I'm entering the world of Portal right now. Anyway, yeah, that's going to pretty much wrap us up for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, though, feel free to browse my website, which is indie-impressions.com. See what you can find over there. There's tons and tons of old videos in the archive. You can browse them all by different tags, by genre, by distribution method, by payment style. If you want to browse all the free games, that is up to you. The paid ones, the Steam ones, Desera, whatever you got, or whatever you're interested in, I should say, is right there for your perusal. You can also search by devs if you have a favorite dev that you'd like to check out. I tend to tag those as well, or at least include them in the description of the game. Other than that, though, there's forums over there. Check those out. We've got a Facebook page, facebook.com/indieimpressions, if you want to give that a visit. Leave a like on it if you choose. That way you can get every day's new video delivered to your Facebook feed. That way it's easier to share or just keep up with. I also do news updates and occasional contests or game giveaways through there. I also have a Twitter, which is @RockLeeSmile, if you want to hit me up on that. Feel free to send me suggestions, criticisms, comments, whatnot. Anything is pretty much fine if you just want to chat. Share pictures of your cat or bunny or whatever you got. I'm happy to discuss pretty much whatever. Also, if you're a game dev and you'd like to get in contact with me about the possibility of showing off your game on the show, feel free to either contact me via the Twitter handle I just mentioned or send me an email at the contact form. Taking tons of damage now. You know what? I just realized this could make a really great Binding of Isaac clone if you did this just right. Maybe Edmund McMillan will make a voxel-based Binding of Isaac for a sequel or something. I know Rebirth's going to be 8-bit, but maybe make the sequel to Rebirth, call it Afterbirth. I don't know. I'm just going on a tangent here. Anyway, that's going to do it. Make sure you check out the description for all the social media links and the purchase link for this game. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you come back again tomorrow for another awesome indie game. I will see you then, and have a lovely night.